Hey, everybody! Welcome to Tavern
Hello.
Talks. Tavern Talk.
Hello.
No S on the end. Just like no S on the end of Ford, Meyer, Kroger.
Livernois.
The internet.
Well,
Yeah.
there is an S on Livernois.
But you don't say the S.
Livernois.
No. It's like Illinois. Trevor. Good lord. Keep your tongue to yourself.
Well, welcome aboard, everybody. This is the show where we sit around and talk about D&D. Yeah, when no Russ tonight, he's working still, so he's having late nights at work. Yeah,
At the Parade Company?
at the parade
Yeah.
company. Yeah,
Oh, wow, really?
yeah. They got a lot of
It's
stuff
2
that they're
months
trying to
out.
get done. Yeah, they're 2 months out and they're
It's
trying to
really
get a lot of
picking
stuff
up
done.
now. Oh, that's right. It picks up right around this time, I guess.
Yeah.
Yep.
Normally not this much, but they've got a bunch of new floats this year, I guess. So
You know, last year, I remember my kids actually, my wife actually set up, like, from their homeschool group, like a tour of the Parade Company after Thanksgiving. It was, like, in December. And, like, you know, they actually got to go down to where they have all the floats and got to actually see them and talk to like the parade director and learn about like how the all the floats are made and all that. Unfortunately, I don't think that Russ was actually there that day, but it was pretty cool. The fact that like you know the kids actually got to learn like what they saw on you know on Thanksgiving Day, and actually got to see like them like after the fact and how they were actually constructed.
And just how big everything actually is.
Right? Yeah.
yeah, yeah. You don't realize it until you see them in person.
Yeah. Well, right now there's a giant duck sitting out Huntington Place.
Oh, is that the giant duck? The giant
The
rubber
giant
ducky?
duck. Yeah. Like really quacking.
Yeah.
Release the quacking.
Yeah.
Oh my
Oh
god.
yeah, that's one of the slogans they use because it was just down in Ohio somewhere for some sailing fest or something.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh my
Huntington
gosh.
actually is based out of Ohio. That's where their headquarters at least used to be. Because I used to work for Huntington way back when they first took over Warren Bank, and they first moved into Michigan.
Look, you're panting. You're clearly warm. I'm warm. You can get off at any time, dog.
But anyway, so we're here to talk about D&D, and specifically Tavern Knights, the show our game that we do every other Friday, including this coming Friday, which will be our 50th episode.
And we are pretty much about 2 weeks away from our 3-year anniversary overall. I know Bob hasn't been as part of it as that long, but when we first kicked it off, it was about 3 years ago.
Yeah,
Awesome.
the four of you that are left from the original crew.
Gosh, 4 of us out of the 7, huh?
Yep.
Yeah, that's right. We lost
Life.
Yeah,
Yep.
we lost Bannock earlier on, just prior to our battle at with the Black Dragon.
Yeah, where he got the killing blow.
He did, which I believe you played that,
Yeah, I played Bannock.
right? Yeah. Which was unfortunate that he had to depart the group. He was one of those veterans that was like really, really brought like an interesting dynamic to the table. But I knew that, he had a long commute. I think. And
Yeah.
it was quite a bit of a commitment from his side to be able to be a player versus a DM. I think also, and then lost 2 others. But 3 years.
Wow.
I have to say, Chris, it's been great. I've enjoyed every single session that we've been able to play, and I look forward to it every single game.
I'm
Same.
glad. And we actually just passed the 2-year mark of actually streaming.
Oh, sweet.
Right?
That was last month. Actually, I didn't make a big deal out of it at the time because I didn't actually realize it. But yeah, it was the end of August that we started streaming 2 years ago.
Sweet.
So, but yeah, good times. And this last week was good times. The last game was really good times. You guys got some downtime.
Yep.
Um, I called the episode downtime, but I should have called it like downtime and bad dreams or something like that.
Oh, that would have been
Oh.
clever. Speaking of said dream, are we getting into it?
Well, we can, and we will in
I
just
mean,
a
we,
little
we
bit.
ended the show on the dream.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So
in
we'll
a moment. In a moment.
Yeah, in a moment. So we'll get to the other stuff first. So I gave you guys the opportunity to have some downtime. Your characters are basically taking the winter off, is what you were doing. Travel's a little bit more difficult in the winter and stuff, so you were taking some time off. A few of you took off for the Temple of the Open Mind to do some studying and research. Mara Karras went home with Halt. He accompanied Mara Karras to his home.
Where was that again?
It's in the duchy of Ulik. It's actually almost straight south of the Temple of the Open Mind, about a week and a half's journey south.
Yeah, but the duchy is like kind of like a general area, right?
Yeah.
Are they actually in a particular city or town or?
Yeah, I don't have that at my
they're-
fingertips.
that they are actually like part of. Yeah,
It's a small area. It's not one of the main towns. And basically it's Lauka's family actually are the lords of that area. And Mara Karras' father was granted an area inside of that for him to run as a landed knight. And that was for his service to Lauka's father for many, many years.
That's right. Yeah.
He was the captain of his guard, basically.
As for Karras, was able to get a little bit of like his nobility.
Well, yeah, it's what it is. The knights are considered nobles.
Yeah.
So yeah, and he was raised in a noble household, even though he wasn't raised as a noble.
Which was great, being able to actually see, like we always heard a little bit more about it, or even the interactions with Karras' sister when we were in Greyhawk. But that was the first time we actually got any kind of interaction with him in his hometown and his family of like the whole interaction of like that whole family dynamic and the social dynamic of that area. Which kind of was teased a little bit. Like Karras has been saying, like, "Oh yeah, I should go home and visit my parents." So it was like the perfect chance to be able to finally have that opportunity to do it.
Yeah, that was kind of cool. You guys also got to do some downtime activities, and with that, a couple of you learned another language.
Yep.
So some of us more easily than others.
Yep. Just it couldn't get the inflections, man. My mouth doesn't morph that way.
So what
What did you learn?
I learned drow.
Drow. Okay.
And Grimbolt learned Undercommon.
Okay, that's right.
And then, what was it you did, Pete?
I was trying to learn how to create a magical item,
Oh, that's right.
which still need to do a little bit more research on
Yeah.
because of the specialties of it. But I was trying to learn like how to create like a particular magical item for defensive purposes.
What
Yeah.
kind of magical item?
Hmm?
What kind of magical item?
Basically, what I'm trying to do is like being able to like create like my my vest that I wear to be able to cast mage armor and shield, kind of like where it has like the like 5 charges or whatever, or a certain amount of charges, so that way you can cast it like every single day, and it like gains amount of charges every single day.
Oh, sweet.
Oh, sweet.
So that's what I'm trying to like look into right now. But he has no idea how to do this, which is why he was like trying to reach out to the artificers in Phandalin to do research on how to create magical items, because he doesn't know how to. So that's what he was using his personal time during, like, well, I was the only one I think that was in Phandalin during the entire time. Everyone else actually went off to do other things. And so
Octavian went home as well.
That's right. He went to Gryrax. So that's what I was trying to do, is do some research to understand like how there's that potential possibility. Haven't gotten there yet. I'm sure it's still a long ways away, but that's my ultimate like goal, is to try and see if there's a way to be able to do that. Because me as a character, that's something that I always have to use, either like have those 2 spells prepared, or I have to store them in my ring of spell storing. So if I have a magical item that I can create that can cast them at will and recharge every single day, it would free up 2 spell slots for me. That would be more beneficial, I would think.
So yeah, so there was that. Nobody else really did anything. Merrick Harris didn't actually do any downtime activity. Octavian didn't.
No, Octavian did.
Oh, that's right, he did.
He went home and he learned Giant, I think.
Yeah, that's
He
right.
found somebody to teach him Giant.
Yeah, he found somebody to teach him Giant.
Go.
That's right.
Go.
So he learned Giant.
Off.
He was trying to convince his parents to branch out to Phandalin as well.
Yeah, he was trying to convince. Yeah, he was trying to convince his parents to move to Phandalin.
That's right.
Close up shop and move, and his dad went, no.
Which Rich was actually telling me that's what his like big plan was like kind of hoping to try and get them to move out there and expand, like maybe like have their shop run by someone else in Gryrax, but they would be closer to where he was in Phandalin and open up a new shop and expand out there.
Mm.
But you know.
But yeah, so we went through all that, and then at the end, you guys all came back together after about 3 months.
Right.
And met back up in Phandalin at your manor. And
During Growfest, I believe.
Yeah, during Growfest, yep. And then in the middle of Growfest, you guys all went to bed one night, and Klimbram had a dream.
A nightmare.
Yeah. He had a little visit. In which
I sure did.
In which she was standing at a brew kettle, brewing beer, and it started to boil over.
Yep.
And then
an actual like worst nightmare of Klimbram.
Yeah.
and of Renee.
And then it started fountaining, and then the whole kettle just exploded outwards.
Yeah.
And standing
and then
there,
Mash Monster.
And yeah, there was a mash monster.
Yep. That I lost to.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to the next game, because I do believe we ended it with me going to Grimbolt's room asking like, hey, can I just like sleep on the floor in here?
Yeah.
And so that legit, like all I've been thinking about in the car for the last week and a half is role playing that, and just the ideas of like the potential way the conversation can go. And that's, I'm just literally in the car driving from site to site talking to myself as Klimbram.
No,
with an imaginary conversation with Grimbolt.
Of what you
literally for the last week and a half.
About what you want to say in the next game.
Yeah,
or what
yeah.
You,
I'm trying to rehearse the role playing of how the conversation can go.
Which I get and I respect. I do the exact same thing when I have a particular idea. I try and like role play it in my head and try and like create little like setups for who I want to interact with. But you were actually mentioning something in the last game at the very end
Oh
that
yeah, like
you,
as soon as I got to bed, I'm like, man, I could have role played that better in the way of.
you did so well. You don't have
Well,
to worry about that though.
so I could have role played it in a way that would have tugged at heartstrings more. Because what's funny is, so I have literally been promoted at jobs for my ability to crisis management. When shit is hitting the fan, caustic is spraying everywhere, covering people, I keep my cool because my supervisor fucking froze on me, which left me in charge and handled the situation, and everybody came out just fine. I think it's hilarious that what in this it's like Klimbram absolutely would have froze, but Renee froze.
All right, now
Can you imagine?
hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. Think of it though. Like, I know that sometimes you have some difficulties sleeping at night, and you have like some like insomnia. Like,
Some?
now, in the middle of the night,
Trevor,
I have that sometimes too, but you have to admit that like sometimes in your like line of thinking at that time, it is like more irrational. It's not like the same level as when you're like more in the day, more coherent and whatnot.
Yeah.
You reacted the way that your character would have reacted.
Yeah,
It
I
may not have
guess.
been the best or the most ideal that you would have gone after, but it was appropriate, I felt, the way that it actually played out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You don't have to hold yourself to the fact that like, oh, I could have role played that better, or I could have made it more dramatic. No, it actually went very well, I thought.
Oh, well, thank you.
And I think that you're not giving yourself that credit, because afterwards, like, you always think like, oh, I could have done this, or
Oh, yeah.
I'm worrying about this. I should have done this before, like during the day,
yeah.
like with my work or whatever in the middle of the night. But
Hindsight's 20/20.
Yeah.
exactly, in that moment, you actually played it exactly how you, Renee, or Klimbram would have approached it.
Yeah.
That was a very genuine reaction to the
Exactly.
situation.
Yeah, of just like, I have no info. I have no info to go off of.
So you just reacted fully like
Yeah.
in the moment, rather than in the middle of the night when you're thinking like, oh, I could have done all this, or I should have been worrying about this. And you build up so much more in your head, like after the fact. But I felt like you did it very well, and you don't have to worry about it. And it was very intense, and exactly the way that Chris was intending for it to approach. You know, I'm excited for the next game, because I don't think that we've woken up from that particular night yet. So
No, like, I just got to Grimbolt's room.
So I'm excited. Like,
I don't even think Grimbolt really knows yet. There's like, hey, I had a bad dream.
Yeah. And
what's fun?
Klimbram probably hasn't even had a chance to process
not at all.
She actually dreamt about
Mm-hmm.
to share with everyone else.
And woke up with burns, no less. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm excited. I'm really excited to roleplay it, because I've been rehearsing it in my head. I also found out that apparently rehearsing conversations is actually like a sign of trauma. So there's also that.
Well, for for like a game or something like that, like this, like I've
But like rehearsing
that
conversations like with your boss and that, because I know I used to do that. I'll still do. But yeah. Anyway. Yeah, I'm excited for the game. I'm super excited.
But I did the same thing with like rehearsing or planning it ahead, like the way you're describing. Like when I tried to, this is before Bob's time, but when I tried to, you know, sort of ping you for the time that I was like when we were on the boat and
making
like,
the sword.
And I was making you know, the lightsaber, and I was purposely trying to bait you specifically because you can bamf from one place to another, and I can bamf from one place to another. And I had that particular like boom, 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 like in mind, like we're like bamfing and like teleporting away from each other.
Teleportation tag.
Yeah. I had that perfectly like planned out like 2 weeks in advance, and I was baiting you. And the first time I didn't bait you, you didn't take it, and I had to wait for the next time. And I'm like, you know, I'm going to try it one more time.
Nice.
And you did take the bait the second time.
Yep.
And then
Gotta know, I hate not knowing.
and it played very well.
Yeah.
Same thing with Marikaris, where like I was like deciding like with the same thing with the lightsaber sword, that like can you teach me how to do some more hand-to-hand combat, and that all of a sudden I can cast it at 5th level instead of 2nd level, and it can do a little bit more damage. And we just like leveled up to level 9 at that time, and it got a little bit of a bump to it. And it's like, all right, well, I purposely thought of it in advance so that way it can drive like a cool little 10-minute side story, just for the fun of it. And I purposely baited Marikaris to be able to do something on the side like that. So I did the same thing that you're like playing around in your head though too, but
Yeah.
I'm curious.
I'm excited.
I'm curious what Grimbold's side of the conversation sounds like in your head.
Yeah. We'll see how it plays out.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Fucking hags.
Yeah.
40 years.
Yep.
40 years.
That's how they get you, is when you put your guard down.
So
I'm really excited about the next game, especially with that dream sequence ending, and moving forward with it, because right now we kind of don't really have anything right now. We're still like, our overall like arcing story is not yet defined, so we're kind of having something like this come about that we all are connected with. We
I feel like we're about to start something big.
Yeah, but it's like still like the side quest. It's not like the overall like big story, but with the tease that you had with the dream.
Yeah, no, I feel like the hags are a little bit more side questy, but I feel like main quest with Staff of Vecna might be coming in. Oh, Chris got a hell of a poker face.
But you don't know how it's all connected to the Vespi Forest.
Oh, don't
This
do
is
that,
true.
Chris. Renee hasn't noticed it yet. But
I hate it so much. When he wants to push my buns, that's all he does to do. I'm just like, oh, I'm gonna break those fingers.
dancing phalanges.
Dancing phalanges.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to this week. Seeing where you guys go from here. You still got some options. There's gonna be some other stuff going on I've got planned. But yeah, it's you guys are doing good. And what level are you now?
10.
10? That's what I thought. You guys just hit level 10.
No, we hit level 10 a while ago. We're pushing level 11, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
No.
We need 11.
No, you haven't gotten to play around on 10 yet. You actually haven't
Sure
done
we
any
have.
adventuring on 10.
I don't even know
I
what to
think-
get at 11.
We
I
have
think Klimbrim is done with level 10. God damn it, I can't drink. Damn it.
We got a green dragon we can go after. We can go
The
after.
green dragon's going to be nothing. It doesn't even have a horde. It's just a
It's like-
baby.
Wasn't it you, Bob was saying Gribbolt wants to know more about this green dragon that everyone keeps talking about?
Because it doesn't matter what the age. Green dragons are trouble. Green dragons are the sneaky, nasty ones. That,
Oh yeah, I want level
pull
11.
people's strings like puppets.
Oh, do they?
Oh, yeah.
So what ended up
So
happening?
white ones are the dumb ones, right?
White ones are the dumb ones.
White? Really?
Yeah, they're the most
Oh, yeah.
animalistic.
Interesting. Okay.
And then black is the next step up. And then green in power level, green is the next step up, but they're the most cunning.
okay.
They're Slytherin.
Yeah. Then blue is the second most powerful, and red is the most powerful. Red is that combination of smart and strong.
But we fought a black. Where would black be in the mix?
Black's second from the bottom.
Okay, so kind of on the lower side.
Yeah. They're not I mean, they're not dumb. They're not overly animalistic, but they're also
I mean,
not
they're
the
still
most powerful.
dragons.
They're still a dragon, yeah.
So red is really on the top.
Red is the top. That's the top of the food chain.
Okay.
Blue is second.
Power level.
Yeah, power level wise.
Okay.
And
Which we
Who's
fought the
this?
blue.
yeah, that's a Chardalon. That is the red dragon.
Which we fought
Okay.
the blue.
Yeah, you
Isn't
fought an adult abyssal blue dragon. He'd been
Now that,
Abyssal blue dragon, no less.
yeah. Well, I say abyssal because he had abyssal runes all over his scales.
Yep.
okay.
And he ghosted us.
What was the?
Well, not ghosted. He dusted away after we
Yeah.
killed him,
Oh yeah, he just
like,
kind of like.
one of Buffy's vampires.
I was gonna go more like the way that you know, the snapping and like how it just like
Oh yeah.
disappeared. What would be the black dragon then in terms of that?
What do you mean? Like I said, they're second for the bottom.
Second from the bottom, but was that an adult or was
Oh,
that?
yeah, that was an adult that you fought.
Okay.
Yeah, you kind of described it as like a young adult.
Yeah, it was a
so
young
kind
adult.
Of an in
So
between.
yeah, it was kind of in between. It was supposed to be a young dragon, and I bumped up its abilities a little bit and its hit points.
Because we were a 7-party.
Yeah,
Or a seven-person party.
7-person party. Now it had the advantage of the water for about 3 seconds.
2 seconds.
But
Layer
One
actions.
of honestly, like, that's how you win D&D. That was so clever.
that really was. That was to this day. That's one of my favorite parts of this campaign is Rich running when, especially Klimbrim running away.
Yeah.
And Octavian going, shit! All right, well, I can move over here. Is she still within range? And he hits the whole party with Water Walk.
The look on your face when he casts Water Walk, you're just like, fuck! My player just outplayed me.
Now,
You
Bob-
also like had this like proud DM moment look too.
yeah. Now, Bob,
Awesome.
with the green dragon, you know, that's part. I think that was part of the original module that we played in the first year before we even started streaming. And myself and like one of our other characters,
Phelan the Bard.
Phelan, who isn't with us anymore, he and I were like just kind of like, you know, observing like something else on the other side of this particular like rundown ruined city.
They found some dead giant spiders.
And we almost went into this like through this door. We decided
Into a
against
ruined
it.
tower.
We decided against it since it was just the two of us and everyone else in the party was like on the other side of the ruins. And that's when after we went back, we found out like, oh yeah, in that ruined tower was a young green dragon that we almost went into by
Yes.
ourselves.
At second level.
At second level. Just the two of us, a bard and a wizard.
Yeah, they're talking with the druid that they went to this town to look for. And he's like, oh yeah, that tower's got a young green dragon in it.
But we didn't find out until after we like almost went in
Yeah,
and like
Ian's
decided to walk
face that
back.
night, when I said that, Ian's face was hilarious.
Yeah, it was.
Because it was just like, his eyes got really wide, like, what the fuck? Because he had his hand on the door.
We were
And he's
about
like,
to walk in.
Do we open it? And Yukurai's like, yeah, let's go in.
And I don't know why. I
we
can't
turned
remember
around.
what it was. Why
That
you guys
made
turned
us-
around, but you decided to.
Yeah, there was something that stopped us. I don't recall what it was. I have to go back and listen to it. But yeah, we did not open the door, thankfully. And
Well, that's
then
what
we
you
found
can't
out.
listen to, because that one's not online. That was long before we started streaming.
Oh yeah, it was.
But yeah, there were some good moments in this campaign, and I love those. You know, when you guys do those types of things, it doesn't piss me off. I enjoy it because it means that you're playing your characters smartly, and just know that I don't play dumb villains generally.
Mhm.
My villains are
Oh,
smart.
you do not. Nope. You make sure you get away, which I think pisses us all off.
Yep.
On how many get away from us, and
It's a
we
combination of both campaigns. It's not just this campaign, but it's also in the other one. And no joke, within 2 sessions, or like 4 sessions in a row between both campaigns, we had like 4 people had gotten away, 2 on each. I'm just like, I'm fucking done losing people. Climbrum's over it. Rosalind's over it. I hate people getting away. Because
Alright.
Talus and the White Dragon got away in the other campaign.
So curious, Renee. I only play
Yeah.
one character, but you play 2. Which one do you honestly enjoy playing more? can be honest.
Personality-wise? Personality-wise?
Whichever way that you want to describe.
Yeah. Personality-wise, I adore Climbrum. Math-wise, I adore Rosalind.
She's a rogue.
Because, man,
Rosalind's an assassination.
she's an
rogue.
assassin rogue. Yeah.
So she's what Halt is. Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't really gone a whole lot into like Rosalind's backstory. I really didn't write a whole lot.
Oh, really?
Like I
You
like
have
the
a
other
pretty good
campaign, but I don't
backstory
devote
with,
a whole
with
lot of
Clem.
time to it. Oh yeah, I really like delved into Climbrum because I really wanted to make a character.
Okay.
So
Clem was the
overall,
first.
like,
Was the first of the 2.
yeah,
Rosalind was
was-
second.
Oh, really?
yeah.
Oh, I thought you started playing before Climbrum.
No, this campaign in Climbrum is my first campaign.
Okay.
I ended up joining Chris's other campaign that has been running longer, but I joined very recently. Well, I mean, I've been playing in it for a year, but my character has actually only been with that group for about 2 months.
Oh, okay. I thought it was longer than that. I thought you've been playing longer than a year.
About a year, right?
I thought it was right around the same time.
Probably
that we
about 2
started
years.
with our-
2 years, maybe?
But we only play that one once a month if we're lucky.
Yeah.
Okay.
We probably only play it 8 times a year, really.
Yeah.
Is that also?
That's about right. Yeah.
Is that also
Yeah.
in 5e?
Yeah.
Or
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's set in Forgotten Realms. So, well, it was set in the world of Greyhawk, and then they sailed to Forgotten Realms. So, because I made it 2 separate continents on the same world.
Okay. Very cool.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, I adore Climbrum. I prefer playing Climbrum.
Okay. Like.
Plus, I mean, like, Climbrum is also just like a carbon copy of me, just with more trauma. And more shit to work out. I probably have some shit to work out, but
You're also not
mean-
a secret agent.
yeah,
That you know of.
you
And
don't
I
know.
know of. You're right. I mean, like.
I mean, I do have Homeland Security clearance, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I adore Climbrum. I spend a lot of time thinking about what her thought process would be. Because sometimes I have a hard time dividing Climbrum from Renee on how she would actually handle scenarios.
Mm-hmm.
Climbrum's nicer than Renee. She cares about people a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Whereas like Rosalind's super cold. Like she's
Oh,
a really
really?
cold character.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've only heard of that character in passing. So what
Yeah.
is Rosalind overall? Like she's a rogue?
Yeah, she's an assassin rogue from
human.
Yep. Assassin rogue human. She's
Human,
like
okay.
6'1", but weighs like $140. She's super. She's rail thin, so she can
Okay.
fit into tight places. I can't remember what kind of like human she is, but she's like the ultra pale human with like
Okay.
weirdly steely silver eyes. I can't remember what kind. Like it's an actual type of human in the player's handbook
Mm.
that she is, and she grew up on the streets of Waterdeep. She doesn't know who her parents are. She got by stealing and then stole from like the wrong person. But She was only like 10 at the time, and
How old is she?
she is 27.
So
26, 27.
older than Climbrum is.
Nope, younger. Glenbrum's 32 at this point.
Oh, really?
No, I'm sorry, 31.
So what's your background? I'm just curious.
She
You're a Luskin.
is that the
Yeah.
type?
Illuskin. ILLUSKAN.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then the
Luskin?
background
Yeah,
is
they're from the
urchin.
extreme northwest.
Yeah.
I don't even see that in like the list here.
And the background is
Interesting.
technically urchin. I think that's what it is. Is essentially like a street kid.
Okay, that is in here. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
And
part of the. Okay.
But yeah, so she was stealing. She got in with like this thieves guild, not officially, but they kind of used her because she was small and able to like sneak into places really well. They were doing like a raid on the wrong person's house, who ended up being like a part of the Harpers, which is a different guild, and it was Leoson's house, and he ultimately like, you don't need to steal to like live, and actually like showed her a better way of life, and ultimately like made her a force of good in a way. So that's kind of it in a nutshell.
So
She,
she's
however,
kinda
gets
like more of a neutral.
Yeah, I would
Pretty
say
neutral.
so. Yeah. She gets super over like super pompous people. I mean, she told a dragon to fuck off.
But she's not like she'll do the dirty work if it needs to be done.
Yeah. She will absolutely shoot someone in the eye if they need to die. If
And
it
what
gets
was
the
that?
mission done.
Over 50 points with one bolt? With one
I
hand
believe it
crossbow
was
bolt?
53 points was that critical hit
Ooh.
with the bolts. Yeah. And I rolled really well.
So I'm going to ask you this, Pete. So we just had our campaign, our game for that campaign actually over the weekend, and they were offered something at near the end of that.
So is Bob in this campaign too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
I've actually mentioned his stuff from his character in this campaign. Like
Really?
listen to the readings of Farfennugan.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
That's where that comes from.
so they went through this one dungeon called the Tower of Zonthal, and it's a wizard's tower. They cleared it out, and they were told that by right of conquest they now own it. And there's another group, the Zentarum, who are they used to be called the Black Network. They're basically like a giant thieves guild. They're a guild of thieves, spies, things like that. They said, we want to buy the tower from you. We will offer you 50,000 gold.
Whew. Okay.
They said no, and they said, okay, well, we'll also give you a greater healing potion, and they listed off a bunch of magic items, including like an 8th level spell scroll, and 50,000 gold.
Okay. Would I have gone for it, or would
would
you
you have gone for it?
Who is
The library is still intact. Disclaimer: library is still intact.
Wait, but who is trying to purchase
The Zentarum.
The Thieves Guild is trying to buy this tower
Thieves
off
Guild.
of
The Thieves
Yeah.
Guild.
like a shadow network of Thieves Guild on top of it. Like, they're not good people. So
If
I'm
they're
a
not
Harper.
good,
But they're not good people, but they have done good for the world.
Yes.
They
Yes.
have saved the world before.
yeah,
Yep.
just
their own
like the
reason.
Harpers. They're opposites of the same coin.
so
Yeah.
that,
They
that's
have
kinda like
done
the
good.
question. Like, like there's like the Thieves Guild that like Karis's sister is like running, which have helped us, and not good, but not exactly evil. I don't think, based off of my interpretation of like
Yeah.
how we've interacted with.
We
them.
don't
Is
know.
that-
We don't have a lot of info.
From what we know, I think that's my
I
interpretation.
can't tell you
of it.
anything about that.
I know, but like my interpretation of it, like working with Karis's sister, is like they do kind of like, not good things, but they're not evil, but they're not doing, like they'll not do bad
not
things
gonna-
or hurt other people on purpose, essentially.
She's not going to tell her brother, the paladin, the bad, evil things her group does.
Yeah. I hate that Merrick Harris tells his older sister fucking everything. And that's Klimbrum. Like, shut your fucking face.
I
You
have
also
to
tell
say,
every tavern everything.
Karras does have a bit of
He's got a big mouth because he's young and dumb.
He does run his mouth quite a bit. Now,
Because he's young and stupid.
Now, one of that would be like a big conundrum for Euchariah, because one of like my flaws is I will like go after, like, sacrifice anything personally, at least, to find a lost bit of knowledge.
We know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Tentacles, anyone?
I feel like I played that very well, but that was like a particular flaw that I chose, and depending on what it was, but at the same time, he won't sacrifice what will hurt other people in order to gain that type of knowledge.
Okay, now let me add a little bit more to this mix. You don't really now. Okay, you only know of the Zentrum as, oh, they're bad people because you're told that. You're not from this area.
Yeah.
So you've been told, well, those Harpers, those are the good guys. This Order of the Gauntlet, they're another good secret society, but you have nothing to base that on other than what someone has told you.
What two people in your party that you just met within the last couple of months have told you, because they're both Harpers.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Then,
Yeah, so for all we most of the party has not joined either side, anybody, the Harpers, the Order of the Gauntlet, simply because, well, we don't know that you're the good guys other than you keep telling us you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like,
and that's the other thing. So this group is trying to stop Tiamat from coming back.
oh gosh.
And the
Okay.
Zentarum also said, not only are they going to pay you all this, they're willing to throw everything they have in with you to stop this from happening.
Then I would say that probably, given that knowledge, that Euchariah would go along with it, because
Yeah,
he
but they
would-
can
he
go
would know any
in with
better.
us without having the fucking tower. What are they going to do? Not help us when Tiamat comes?
Yeah.
If it
Then
puts
they
them in,
can. Then they're
That
going to be
would-
crunchy with a side of ketchup, just
But
like
if
the
it-
rest of
but if
us.
it puts them into a better position to
Oh no,
to fight it, like, again, it depends on the, like, I'm not in that campaign.
the
It de-
Santorum can get fucked. They're not getting the tower.
You're just one vote.
That's one vote against.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm
but-
going to about guarantee you that Carter, while he may not sell it,
Careful.
he may not agree to sell it for that. He'll try and get more, but he'll agree to sell it.
Well, yeah, he's got nothing to lose. I live on this continent. Carter doesn't. He's visiting. Farfel doesn't want to
Yeah.
sell it either.
Well, Euchariah doesn't care about more monetary stuff. He cares about, like, that, like I said, like that lost bit of knowledge, magic, or history, or anything like that. If that was offered and it was for, like, creating, like, or like battling greater evil, he would rationalize it in that form.
Means to an end.
Yes, in that particular moment. You're giving me, like, the 2-minute description of probably what's happened over the course of the last 2 years, but that's probably, like, the approach that he would actually go with, But I don't know. It would depend. Like, I play more like the chaotic neutral. I try to do it, but where he tries to be good. He will not be selfish if it sacrifices, like, somebody else's safety. That is a good person. If it's like someone that's obviously evil and doing evil things, he will try and combat that. But at the same time, like, just like with I forgot his name. Not Barracks. what was the other guy from the multicolored robe that from Sarah's like
The multicolored
Oh,
dreamcoat.
I forgot his
Vialis?
name. Vialis, yeah. Like, even in that moment, like, Yukari didn't want Vialis to be like was actually kind of like upset the fact that I think Rich was actually playing Karis at the time and made Karis kill Vialis in that moment when he tried to do something at the last minute, like, with his trying to stun everyone, and he made Karis actually like finish him off because probably that's what Karis would have done. Yukari was firmly against that. Like you should see him to justice, not just kill him off. He should actually like pay for his like what he did and actually see it, and the people that actually he hurt should be able to get that justification from it in the end. It didn't happen that way, but that's like how that's what I wasn't actually in that. I was actually watching it during that time, but that is how I would have approached it at the time. So it's kind of like that, like when you're playing like that chaotic like phase, it's kind of a gray area almost. Unlike
I like the way you play the chaotic side though. It's more like a blissful ignorance.
yes,
A lot of times
because that's like
is
his
that
background.
you just don't know the social norm.
Which that's where he came from. He grew up as like more of a hermit with one person in his life, his whole life, that was stripped away from him suddenly, and he had to figure out his own way like beyond that. So I try and play that up the best that I can, where there's a lot of like that intricacies on like what would be the right thing to do, what wouldn't be, and it might change from one encounter to another.
Yeah, because Klimbrum is also chaotic good. Well, initially, but I feel like the more and more I play her, the more she keeps teetering to neutral good. Mm-hmm. I feel she keeps getting closer and closer to that mark. Mm-hmm. In my personal opinion, not that I'm doing it on purpose. It just so happens like that. Those are the decisions that she's making, and she's almost becoming more and more noble in her. Like she's finding herself and finding her way.
She's growing,
and she wants to do good, and she wants to help people because she realizes that she can now.
Yeah.
And that she can protect people, and she wants to protect people. But if the law is dumb, if you got a corrupt fucker,
oh yes,
like then no, not just going to blindly follow.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, she's grown a lot throughout all of this.
Yeah, that you have. Actually, a lot of the characters have. And that's one of the things I like about this campaign is you guys have kept your characters. You've actually grown your characters rather than just leaving them two-dimensional.
Yeah.
Which is one of the things I really like.
I feel like all of us are, like play them very complex. And like where they can grow and they actually, are forced to make like those type of difficult decisions, like whether or not you try and go after and kill someone that is an obvious evil, or do you try and go beyond that? And
I don't know. You guys have a pretty long hit list right now of people that you plan on killing when you see them. So
so many have gotten
that list
away
got a lot
from us.
shorter when we accepted the War Tower Wardens because they did us a solid.
Yeah, they're positively bloodthirsty when compared to Grimbold. Grimbold has a list of 3.
Yeah, well, and what's funny is that even Rich, the cleric of light, was planning ways to basically bake the wardens like in a fucking oven.
Seal them all up and then toss daylight inside them, and it'd be like a big oven.
And that's where like Yukari at the time was like trying to figure out ways to, like, oh, let's put everything in the bag of holding it. I will teleport away, and you guys just kind of tricked them that like some of us have died and we lost all of our loot. I was trying to figure out ways of doing that versus
we actually just ended up paying our share because
No, I know
the problem got a lot. It became more than us.
I know, but like where Chris
But
was saying, like
initially
you're
going
talking
in,
about like
just
lighting it up and
because they want 25% for nothing, and I still hate that.
But I went with like, okay, trying to sneak away and get away from it. You were trying to be like, all right, we have to come up to an unfortunate like medium where we have to deal with it. And yeah, as Chris pointed out, Rich was coming up with ideas of like lock them in and light them up.
Rich got dark. Like, Rich got really dark. I love it though.
Our life cleric came up with a plan to kill the most people.
Yeah,
but it actually, I like the fact that it adds that like depth. It's not like you, as you say, Chris. It's not two-dimensional.
Yeah,
like everyone is not that like, one particular, like chaotic or good or evil. Particular moments may be like good. Some moments may be, neutral or evil. It doesn't mean that it defines you as a person overall, but like depending on the situation, it may actually put your own conscience into question.
Yeah, I do think back with the War Tower Wardens is I do think had we not found those orcs and had we not found essentially the army that was mobilizing underneath the tower, and we just like went in, got a bunch of shit and left, and we didn't uncover essentially the plan to invade the city of Greyhawk, I feel like us as a party probably would have gone with your plan of trying to vamp out because fuck those guys, they're not getting 25% of my money. The reason I feel why it became more than money because it became a bigger problem.
Exactly.
It became more than us, and then money wasn't an issue anymore.
But when we first went into it, that's not what we were expecting it. We didn't expect it to have that much depth to it of what we were going to find.
Yeah, exactly. We ended up finding a lot more, and it became a much bigger thing than just us going into this tower to get 500 gold off of a fucking sword, and then he finds a better sword when we're there.
Right off the bat.
Yeah, like right off the bat too. I do like that he's like carrying them like Geralt and just has 2 swords on his back. At least that's how I envision it in my head.
I imagine that,
Yeah, the flame tongue's only a +1.
Yeah?
His other one's a plus.
No, his other one's a +2.
Oh, is it a +2?
The one that we got the $500 or 500 gold off. Yeah, that was a +2.
Oh, okay. I thought it was only a +1.
Nope.
Still.
We
went in there to find a book, a cookbook, well, a spell book.
Yeah, an alchemy book, yeah.
And it became a lot more. And a lot bigger than us.
Yep. And you found Zagig's library.
Yeah.
Or at least
and we're the only ones who knows where it's at.
Yeah. And you found out how to sign out books magically.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, who knows?
I wonder what happened to those wizards. Are they still chasing a butterfly?
The clerics?
Yeah.
You don't know.
I feel like we should scry on one of them just to see what's happening.
When you said the butterfly of Zagig, and they all got excited.
Going after
I think we all lost it. So naturally, Uriah had to have some sort of interest in it.
Yeah. Uriah started running after him.
I know, because it was like so ridiculous. It had to have some sort of meaning. It felt like.
Yep.
It was wonderful. Was that something that you created, or was that actually part of the module?
It's actually in the module.
The butterfly?
Yep.
Oh my god.
Oh, it's so stupid.
I was just curious.
Nope, that whole thing with the priest of Zagig was actually in the module.
That's funny.
And
I wish I was good at doodling, because then I envision just all of our characters, a bunch of clerics going after this butterfly, and then Euchariah starting, and just like Marikir is holding him by the
Like
collar.
this
Yeah, just holding him back.
Just nope.
Butterfly.
Too funny.
Yeah.
So I did pick up a D&D book.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, we had access to it on D&D Beyond, but I wanted a physical copy. It's one I've wanted since it came out a couple years ago. Actually, about 3 years ago now. But it's Eberron,
Oh, yeah.
Rising from the Last War. It's a world that's always intrigued me. It's kind of a steampunky world. It's like high magic meets steampunk.
Oh, very cool.
It is a super high magic world. Like magic infuses everything. Magic is part of everyday life. But they have airships. They have what they call
very cool.
what they call lightning rails, which are trains. They actually have horseless carriages, things like that.
Very Final Fantasy-esque, it sounds like.
Yeah, but they all.
Yeah.
But and this is
Very.
actually where the artificer comes
Specifically, like Final Fantasy IX.
Hmm.
I feel.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, this is where the artificer class comes from.
Oh,
And then
really?
they also have another type of artisan in this world called a mage right. And what mage rights can do is they have magical ability, they have arcane ability, but it's really limited. Like or even subdivine, because some of them are healers. And what they can do is they can do really well they can do a lot of things with healing kits, where they can do a lot of medical stuff, but they also might be able to cast cure wounds or lesser restoration. Some of the really great ones might even be able to cast greater restoration, but that's all they can do.
Okay.
Those are the only things that they can cast. Same things with like the mage rights are like what you guys had joked around about, was a mage coming in to blast the
HVAC
refrigerator
technician?
Yep.
and make the icebox. There's actually people who do that in this world.
That's awesome. It's so fucking cool.
And there's mage rights that run the trains. That's their only job, is to put lightning into these lightning rails to keep them moving. Actually, they help manipulate. Most of the vehicles are run by trapped elementals. They have ships that are run by water elementals. The airships are actually, they have trapped air elementals that keep them afloat. And the mage rights keep them under control. So while they can't cast fireball, they can manipulate the world around them.
Is this in the world in 5e edition?
Yeah, this is a 5e book, yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. It's another campaign setting is what it is. This is also where the Warforged come from, which are the automatons.
Yeah. But that doesn't seem like it's something that you are inclined to introduce into your world.
Not yet. They talk about firearms in here, which I have introduced into Greyhawk now.
Have you?
Yep.
Firearms?
You guys have seen them.
Yeah, we have.
Where? I don't recall that.
Greyhawk. We came across. No, the captain. Captain on the boat had firearms.
Oh, on the boat when we were going
Yeah.
to Greyhawk. Oh.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, because I was like, where?
That was
Who?
before Grimbolt.
before we got there.
And there actually is one other person where you've seen them. You may not have realized it, though.
I don't remember.
So we'll leave it at that for now.
No, come on. Yeah, cause the crazy merchant is in. Is that in this campaign or the other one?
Borislav?
No, not the other one.
Which...
The one that's kind of like the gunpowder guy.
Oh, he, I think, is in the other campaign.
I think he's okay. That's what I thought.
Now, you guys might have met him in the... No, I don't know. No, I think it was the other campaign, because I'd have remembered.
Hop Slamp's being released in October, and I don't know why.
I don't know. Somebody goofed.
That's a February beer.
January.
That's what I meant.
It's normally right after the first of the year.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Is that
so
something that you're thinking about introducing one day? Like,
possibly. I mean, I'm introducing artificers, and
Yeah.
with artificers will come other things. Now, when it comes to things like Warforged, we'll see. But firearms, yeah, definitely. I've already put them in. They're extremely rare, and you can't be proficient in them except by taking a feat.
Are there any feats that would be available to any of our characters that could?
Yeah, it's an exotic weapon feat. It's one of the things you can do in the feats, is you can learn another weapon.
Okay. But I would think that for something like that, you can't just like we hit like.
I know what I'm
level-
taking at 12.
Like we can't just hit like level 12 and just like take it out of nowhere. I would think that we would have to have like work with you to.
Well, you'd have to find one. Yeah.
Yeah, and like somehow introduce it into where our characters are interested in it and research it up to that particular point. I would imagine.
Yeah, I'm trying to see which one it is, because there is.
Not saying that I am. I'm just curious in like how it like the overall integration of something like that into the game to make it more naturally flow. I would say.
Nope, that's the spell. That's the skills. Is it that one? Yeah. So there's one called Weapon Master, and it's you've practiced extensively with a variety of weapons, gaining the following benefits: increase your strength or dexterity score by 1 to a maximum of 20. You gain proficiency with 4 weapons of your choice. Each one must be a simple or a martial weapon. And what I would say there is, or you could use 2 of those to get a more exotic weapon, like firearms.
Oh, okay, interesting. All right.
I knew there was one in there.
Because that would be tough for me to find 4 weapons, because I'm proficient in all martial and simple weapons.
Yeah. So yeah, it would.
So it would have to be something weird.
Yeah, and that
And
actually
not- and not
specifically
normal.
says that they have to be simple or martial. Which is why I change it to say, or using 2
Yeah.
for an exotic.
Interesting. Okay.
So, other than that, yeah, you guys are doing great with everything. And I'm having a blast still with this. We're getting back into where it's more my idea and my campaign and my plans. So, and you're getting closer to me getting to bring out the one fig that I've been sitting on for over a year now.
Oh
Oh,
god.
geez.
Which one?
The one that I haven't let you see.
Good try, though. Good
she
try.
is your wife.
I know.
Yeah, that
And I
that
love
means
her
nothing.
dearly.
Doesn't
That means
sound like it.
absolutely nothing. Believe me, I have tried to like weasel information out of Chris. I have definitely tried.
Because pretty much what we've
Got
been doing
close, and then he caught on.
it's pretty much what we've been doing for the past year has been through like the Greyhawk adventure.
Yeah.
Yeah, which
You were
I
saying,
modified for my
That's right. You
campaign
said
goal.
it was modified from 3 or
3.5.
3.5. Okay. You mentioned that you had to like for a number of the main battles, you actually had to like look at the character blocks and modify it to what would apply to 5e essentially.
Yeah.
So again, appreciate the effort that you go into with that, because I think that that's something that gets lost on all of us as players. That you know we approach like that particular blue dragon. I'm sure it had its own stat blocks that were in 3.5, but you had to like modify it appropriately so that way it would be balanced out for us. And there's a lot more between like the Orogs and everything else that was
The
really fun.
Orog. Thunk, 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 dead.
Yeah, and you just flip the page away. We're like, oh
Who
no.
did that?
Boop.
It was because of a really, really good surprise round.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, I need to get back. I need to get back to painting. I know you're working on Orcus, which is looking amazing.
Yeah, I'm hoping to have him done by this weekend.
Yeah, I just need to get back to painting in general. I haven't done
He
it.
may not
weeks.
be. He may not be glued, but I'm hoping to have the paint job done by the time we play.
So, one thing that I actually started just yesterday is I know that, like, you know, it was like, what, about a year and a half ago I made our, like, logo.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Before Grim and Halt joined our group, when we were kind of in that, like, when a few of our group transitioned out before we brought them on. I'm trying to update the logo
Sweet.
with the new Grimm's. I'm
Oh,
hoping to do. I'm hoping
Can't
to
wait
do,
to see your rendition of Cross Axe.
I'm hoping to try and come up with something with Cross X. So I might be reaching out to you, Bob, on like how you want to, how you want it to actually be shown. And then same, I think Halt really uses a short bow. Is that right?
Yeah.
Halt uses a rapier too.
A rapier and short bow.
I think that he uses primarily the short bow more than
Yeah,
the
because he
rapier.
discovered that he's squishy.
Yeah. So I think I'm gonna go more with a short bow with it, and like have like a short bow with like a bunch of like arrows like sticking in the ground like nearby as that. But one thing that I'm gonna try and do, and I'm playing around with it right now, is where I had like a static image of like all of our weapons and saying Tavern Knights on it. I want to do like a 5-second like little GIF of it or GIF, and have it like where, you know, like
Skiff, by the way.
GIF.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because G stands for graphic.
Oh, there you go.
I was corrected once because I said GIF as well, and I got mercilessly made fun of.
It's a GIF.
Yeah.
It's a GIF.
Then like where like my staff will like radiate like a little bit of energy for like.
Oh, that'd be
seconds.
cool.
Like Marikaris's like sword has runes that go down it, and I want them to like pulsate with like light, or Lightbringer from to be able to like shine and then like condense down and like do like little 5-second like little animations. Hopefully that it'll actually like play out very well. I'm kind of playing around with like the capabilities of the software and
That'd be cool.
what I can do. So on top of adding in the 2 new like weapons for our new characters, as well as like maintaining the old ones, I want to try and do like a little bit of an animated logo for it.
That'd be cool.
Upload. So that's currently my project that I'm working on right now, and I just started that just the other day.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's awesome.
That'd be really cool.
That would be.
So, yeah, I'm still debating. Renee was going to get me a tablet for my birthday, and I'm still debating on if I want a tablet or something else. We went actually to go get it at Best Buy, and nobody was
Buy
there to
had,
help.
like,
They had no
like,
tablets.
no tablets.
Yeah, they had no tablets on display
Really?
to even look at. They had one, and it was like a 12-inch tablet, and then they had no other tablets on display. We couldn't find them anywhere, and there's nobody there to help.
Yeah.
I haven't been to a Best Buy in probably like 3 years, I would say.
We kind of wandered around the mobile area for like 15 minutes. Nobody was.
Usually they swarm you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They did not. There was somebody helping somebody at the desk, and there was other people around, but nobody came over. We didn't go over and ask, but because it looked like they were all busy over there. But yeah, nobody came over to ask if they could help us. And so I'm like, you know what? Fuck it, we can go. If I want one, I'll just research it online and order it.
I love mine. I actually, like, through my work with GM, I sometimes get like these like little like recognitions. We have like this recognition reward system where you can get like $50 at a time or like $100 at a time, depending if you're like your leadership, gives you like that little bit of a bump. Before they gave like different types of recognition, but now it's like more integrated like online where you can get it like from your manager, and then your like executive leadership can bump it up and give you like a little bit of a boost. I actually saved it up enough to where I could actually get an Apple tablet to be able to do exactly that, like to play D&D on and actually do like the digital art. And I got that like a year ago.
Yeah.
So
I don't want an Apple tablet.
We're Apple, like with like all of our products that we have between our phones and like our TVs and that. So I maintained it, but they have all the other ones that are available too. That's just the one that we went to, but I was able to get it for free based off of like the work bonuses that I was able to get.
Yeah, explains a lot about Yukaraya's love of apple juice. But yeah, there's not really a lot I can say about what's kind of happened. But yeah, I think you guys are. Gonna,
come on!
I think you guys are gonna have some fun.
Give us a little something, a little tease.
There may be a trip coming up soon.
Oh gosh.
A trip home?
North or south?
East or west?
Yukaraya might be actually pushing to like go really far north, like where Grimm is from, in order to go find some ancient lost identifier on a map.
You got time right now.
Well, I mean, like that's where to the point where it's like you as the DM are kind of like dictating that. Like if we get to the point like we talked to like Raslam, for example, and you're telling us that nope, there's no progress on all the artifacts that we've been able to procure up to this point. We have it's been 3 months, but there's been no like advancement in how they get assembled. I think that's part of what Yukaraya did was he even stayed back in Finland and worked with Raslam to try and, like, on top of his own research to be able to make his own magic item, he was helping Raslam on how to like assemble it. We didn't really get very far with it.
No, what you guys have found, and I can tell you this because this would be something that Yukaraya would know. What you would have been able to find with working with Raslam over that time is that to reassemble these is going to take some large magical source. Now the Forge of Spells, the legends of the Forge of Spells would probably have been powerful enough, but at this point it's only a trickle of what it was.
Which we even tried to attempt to rectify and bring out, even with Octavian's like legend lore of trying to figure it out, but nothing was able to guide us in the direction of how to reactivate it to its full power.
Right, and one of the things, even over the winter, there has been more and more mages showing up in town and going off to Wave Echo.
Oh, that's interesting. I don't think that we particularly noted that. But,
no, because we haven't gotten to that yet, because it would have been...
But we'll get there.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, it's not like 50 mages have shown up. It's like, there's been 4, 5 mages that have shown up over the winter, and...
Mm-hmm. But still, like in terms of the main story of what we're going after, I'm sure that like one of the first things we're going to do is, on top of like talking to Climbrum and realizing what her dream, like how it impacts us and moving forward, we'll probably talk to Raslam and know that there's been still no progress with it, maybe, and may learn more that we, like you said, we need some sort of very, very strong magical essence to be able to assemble it, which we won't have right now. So that will lead to, all right, what comes next? Some sort of additional quest that we're going to go after. Which I think they even like kind of tease, like there's like when we were in Greyhawk, there was the Adventurers Guild with like the different type of quests that you can sign up for if you wanted to. So it's kind of like getting to that type of situation. I feel like we'll decide what we want to do until you as a DM are ready from a standpoint of like your story. When is the right time that all of a sudden we figure out how everything gets assembled and we move on to the next phase of your overall arcing story.
Yep.
Yep.
But it's entirely up to you what you want to do. You can sit around in Phandalin and enjoy your mansion.
I don't think any of us want to do that.
We can hunt down a green dragon. And see what
Uriah
it's up
has
to.
been itching to go after that green dragon since level 3.
You can wait for the hags to come to you.
Oh, I'm pretty sure all of us are like ready to go after those hags.
The Feywild is not but a hop, skip, and a planar leap.
Which that's something that we haven't done yet. Is any type of like interplanar travel.
Nope.
But that is something that is very very realistic and part of adventuring, right? I mean, like
There's some people that do it. There's others that are like, fuck that. Shit gets crazy out there.
I got enough troubles here. Why do we want to go to another plane?
I mean, you don't want to go to the Abyss. You don't want to go to the Nine Hells. The Feywild is kind of a cross between, like, your nice little garden picnic and your darkest nightmare.
okay.
But we do have an expert on Fae, so it wouldn't be too bad.
Yeah.
Except Marikaris would, end up making a deal with the first thing that talked to him, and he'd be gone. And he'd be gone.
Oh man, I saw this great video. It was only like a 30-second video, and it was just this person hiking in the woods, and it showed a fern just like waving in the sunlight, and the sun was hitting it perfectly, and she's like, "Not today, Faye," and walks away. Or it's like, that's, if I've ever seen a Fae trap, it's this, and it's just this fern waving, and nothing else is moving around it. It was awesome.
That's funny.
And then there's like the Shadowfell, which you don't want to go there. It's a realm of shadows.
Two of us might survive.
I was gonna say, it sounds fine to me.
Now the upper planes, like the heavens and things like that, not so bad. But even there's still dangers. Because just because they're like a Solar, which is one of the big angels, is lawful good, doesn't mean they're not going to smite you for being there.
Hey,
Yeah.
if we've learned anything from Supernatural, angels are dicks.
So is that like where like I'm not familiar with it enough. Is that like where like Spelljammer kind of comes into play, like where you travel between these type of realms?
No, that's planeswalking. What Spelljammer is you traveling between prime material planes. So where you guys are and Orth is a prime material plane.
Okay.
Faerun and Forgotten Realms is another prime material plane. Krynn, which is Dragonlance, is another prime material plane. Eberron's another one. The one that's different is Ravenloft. Ravenloft isn't there. You get to Ravenloft through the mists.
Yeah, isn't Ravenloft like a demi-plane or
It's a demi-plane,
something
yeah.
weird?
It's a demi-plane attached to the plane of shadow, and
So that's planeswalking?
yeah, it's called planeswalking.
So what's Spelljammer then? Like where you're like going from like one type of realm to another then?
In Spelljammer, yeah, you're spelljamming, is what it's called. It's where you sail across the astral sea, because all of the prime material planes are connected by the astral sea. The outer planes
Okay.
are connected to the astral sea and the ethereal plane, I think. I don't remember how the planes are all connected. And then there's also the positive material plane and the negative material plane, and
The elemental planes.
yeah, the elemental planes, the quasi-elemental
Okay.
planes.
Okay. Okay.
There's a
Uh,
whole there's diagrams out there that you can look at. You can look up the D&D planar.
Okay.
Yeah, was
I'll
it?
have to look at that. I haven't dived too much into it because in our campaign we haven't really at
Yeah.
all. So
Was
I'll
that
just...
was that 3.5 or 4th edition where they did the whole planeswalker thing?
I think that was second edition, just before.
Oh, was it second just before third?
I think so.
Okay.
That was where they came out with the game, the card game, Spellfire or whatever, and then they had a Planeswalker version of that afterwards, which was actually the fighting between the Tanari, when they changed demons and devils to Tanari and I forget what the devils were. Oh yeah, there's all sorts of them out there. So the outer planes, positive plane, the astral plane. So the astral plane does can connect all of them. Yeah. But yeah, then there's the upper planes and the lower planes. Elemental chaos. Ethereal plane. Okay, the ethereal plane is around us. The Shadowfell and Feywild are connected to the material plane.
Because when someone travels like with like bamfing from like not like Klimbrim bamfing, but like the way that like Uriah bamfs, he is technically going into like I think the ethereal plane temporarily, isn't?
Klimbrim technically goes into like the shadow.
Yeah, you go into the shadow plane. She actually technically goes into the Shadowfell.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would go into the ethereal if I were to like teleport or like.
I don't know if they do, if that's actually the case or not. Let's look up teleport. It instantly transports you, so has to be on the same plane of existence. So no, you don't actually go to another plane
Oh.
when you teleport.
And where would you go if you were like, let's say, I don't know it, but what if you blinked out? Where would you go if you were to blink?
Oh, blink? The blink spell?
Yeah.
I think you go to a pocket dimension.
I thought it was like
Oh no, you actually go to the ethereal plane when you blink.
Okay, that's what I thought. That maybe that's what I was thinking of because I remember that a little bit from Critical Role.
So basically, the ethereal plane is like the ghost plane. Ghosts are actually ethereal beings.
Okay.
That can touch the mortal world. So that's what being ethereal is. Astral is like traveling outside your body type of thing. That's what the astral plane is. The astral plane looks like a sea, a star-covered sea.
Okay.
That goes in every. It's basically like space, is what the astral plane generally looks like. Some people will describe it as being like misty and things like that, but there's also like islands and things like that in the astral sea.
Okay.
But yeah, blink is the ethereal plane, is where you go when you blink out.
All
so
right.
you can still hear everything on the plane you originated from, and you can see it.
Like you, as you described it, you're kind of like a ghost in
Yeah.
the prime material plane, but
Yeah,
you can't be seen.
Right, you're actually invisible, but you can hear and see, and you see things in shades of gray. You lose all color when you're on the ethereal plane.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks like they're talking about revamping Planescape for next year sometime for 5th edition.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
huh? Yeah, Planescape was the expansion where they actually got into
Yeah, all the planes hopping and all
planes hopping
the
and stuff.
planar battles between all the different rulers of the different planes and
Mm-hmm. Yep. So I don't
Before the
expect
end,
you guys to do a lot of planes hopping in this. This adventure wasn't built to be a plane hopping adventure. Now, I'm not going to say you can't go to the Shadowfell or to the Feywild if you want, but
we might end up in the Feywild. Depends on who we're chasing.
yep.
and how determined we are.
Well,
But
I
you
think
would
we have
I
the
can't wait for
determination.
Friday.
you need to have a very particular like spell or means of getting there, right? Like there's like very specific spells that you would actually be able to travel to that other type of realm, correct?
Yeah, you can always talk to your buddy Morty. He's
Or
he's
or
actually
if
a
we,
very famous planeswalker.
or if we find a weak spot or
Yep.
jump the wrong people as they're traveling away.
Yeah, so the easiest places to get to are the Feywild and the Shadowfell. There are actually connectors on the material plane where you can get to them.
That are like known that you can.
I mean, they're known to some people.
Okay, interesting.
Like
Morty.
Morty, yeah. But actually, Grim, you've heard of several in the Vesby Forest
Mm-hmm.
that are connected to the Feywild. Special
Which-
groves or
which-
special
which-
trees or things like that.
Which definitely makes sense with his background and like having to hunt the hags, which came from the Feywild, right? That's where the hags originated from. Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah,
They're
and where they
Well,
bamfed back to.
And that's just a lot of what lives in the Vespi Forest is Fey. And there's the good Fey and the bad Fey, and then there's the regular Fey, which can be good or bad, depending on how they're feeling.
See,
Yeah,
And
there's no like Seelie and Unseelie courts in D&D. Which that's Fey lore. That's Celtic
Mhm.
Fey lore.
Yeah.
It's basically the good court, the summer court, and the winter court.
Yeah.
But no Fey is truly good.
Because humans are dumb.
Well, no human is truly good either. Really, I mean there are some, but they're really rare.
yeah, you just have to catch the Fey in the right circumstances for them to help you.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Like, oh, you're chasing those bitches? Oh, okay. We hate them more than we hate you, so we're gonna help you get back on your feet and go after them.
Yep.
okay.
But yeah.
Looking very forward to Friday.
Yep, I am too, and I think we should wrap things up for tonight.
Just before we end off, I just wanted to ask about though. We have one more game coming up this Friday. Then we're going to be off for a month.
Yep.
We're skipping 2 weeks after this coming Friday.
Yep, because Renee and I will be out of town.
Yep.
Oh, that's right.
For the week of the 14th, and then we'll be back on the 28th.
Yep.
Are we still planning on doing that vampire game on the 28th?
No, we're not going to do it on the 28th. We're going to have to do that on a
around
special. We're going to have to do that. That will have to be a special thing. I talked to Steve about it. He's still
That's what I
interested
wanted
in
to
doing
ask,
it, but he hadn't really planned it. I don't think. I'm not counting on that happening. We'll see if it does. I think we're running out of
Halloween.
time to do it for Halloween, like we had talked about.
Yeah.
So
It doesn't have to be on Halloween. I am just very interested in playing something like that, like something new that is very like I think isn't it a like D12 base instead of
D10.
D20 or D10? Okay, and a lot more roleplay heavy, but like very dark, very different dynamic than D&D. That's why I keep on bringing it up because I'm very interested in it. I'm curious in like how it actually plays out and like how like we would
yeah,
act as like for a one shot like that.
it's funny.
So
I didn't save
I
it.
don't want it to like get forgotten and like we just don't do it. I would like to still discuss it and hope that even if it doesn't happen on Halloween, that maybe we do it for some other kind of special, like later on for our Tavern Nights.
Yeah, it's one of those, we won't do it. We'll have to do it at a special time. So we'll have to do it on like a Saturday afternoon or something like that, because there's a 5-hour time difference between us and Steve. I mean, if we start at 7,
of course.
He's starting at midnight. So, so that'll be one thing. I didn't save this. I should have. The other day I found a thing. It was basically what to play. If you like if you like this, play this. And it was like easy to learn system, fantastical encounters, magic, things like that, sword and sorcery, Dungeons and Dragons 5e. Highly complex character builds with exactly what you want, but lots of detail. Pathfinder 2e. Goth, emo, gay, flirt with your friends, Vampire the Masquerade 5e.
That's funny.
Yeah, I was trying to find it.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I'm like, yep, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. So,
well, I hope we have a chance to do it, even if it's not like for Halloween, that we are able to still work it out, because I think that it's very interesting. I think that we're all very interested in it. I just want to make sure that we're, it doesn't get forgotten and we don't decide not to do it, because I think that would be a fun change of pace and very interesting to do something like that.
It would actually probably take
and a good learning opportunity for other tabletop role-playing games.
And that's the thing. So there is the chance that what we would wind up having to do is actually do it over 2 sessions. One session would probably be a little bit shorter. It would be a session 0 where we create characters, and then we do the one shot. So,
again, I think that would be really a nice, fun, different thing to do for our channel, and exploring those, because there's so many other type of games that are out there, and I think that
Nerd Basement After Dark.
Exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, so it's still in the works. We're still talking about it.
Cool.
Steve said he's gonna look to see. He's got all the books in digital format, so he was gonna send me all the digital copies. I have a lot of the older books. I don't have 5e, because that's also in 5e now.
Because he was playing on DMing that
storytelling.
One, right?
It's a storytelling.
Oh, okay, storytelling. So would you be planning on being a player actually then?
Yes,
Chris?
I would be a player in that. Yes.
See, now that would be also really cool to actually see you as a player in a game versus being being a storyteller or a DM. And I think that would be a lot of fun being able to do that.
Yep. So yeah, that's still in the works. But yeah, join us this Friday as we play not Vampire, but we'll play D&D, and we'll be playing our Tavern Knights campaign. Should be a great time. Remember,
and it's the 50th session.
And it is the 50th. It is our 50th episode. So, and the reason that is because we play every other week, and we've missed a few weeks over the last 2 years. So, but yeah, it's still pretty close. Russ and I are coming up on 300 on Nerds with Alcohol. So that's that, and we're also coming up on 6 years of doing it. So that's pretty cool. They're within a week of each other. We have our 300th episode is just before Halloween, I think, and then we do our 6-year anniversary would be the following week.
Very cool.
But yeah, remember you can follow us on most of the social medias. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Twitter and Instagram are the same. You can see it down there below, Drinking Nerds. We're also on YouTube. This will be up on YouTube in a few days, probably by the weekend or on the weekend. I'll get this up. I still have to get up last week's Nerds with Alcohol show. I was caught up as of last Monday, but I haven't gotten last week's nerds up yet. So, and then yeah, we'll be back here Friday 7:30 on Twitch. Russ and I will be back tomorrow here on Twitch at 8 o'clock for Nerds with Alcohol. He's actually assured me that he can make tomorrow, so it'll probably be close. So we might be a little late. When he says he's gonna make it, we'll see. It may be like 8:15 before we actually get started, because
8:15 isn't bad.
no. But we'll see. We're not waiting for him on Friday. We're gonna actually start at 7:30. We'll see about starting it. See if we can start at 7:30 as long as I got all my ducks in a row, and he can come in late.
Friday?
Yeah, on Friday. So.
Oh, okay.
So, all right. Well, thanks a lot, guys, for coming out and hanging out with us. I appreciate it as always. And I will see you guys. I'll see Renee in a few minutes, but I'll see the rest of you on Friday night.
Yep.
Yep.
So, have a good week, everybody.
Good night.
Join us tomorrow.
Good night.
Right here, Twitch, 8 o'clock. See ya.